Good Saturday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we start out a beautiful Saturday morning. It's going to be sunshine and about 85. Right now we're sitting at 68 in Meridian at Key Field as the morning sun comes about. Wide up now. 8:37 this morning at this time. I'm running a little behind. We've been watching a few stories as they came about. And without a doubt, we start this morning on a sad note. As we learned this morning, we've lost two elderly people in our community. First off, we'll start with the news that broke last night. I was a little, what's the word for it? I was a little hesitant. I waited as we got reports of what was going on 44th Avenue last night. Originally, I thought maybe that it was just someone that had passed away. And as we dig deeper into last night, it's a little bit more to that. As we pull up, we go to Sam Media to talk about this. An autopsy has been requested. And as you look at this, the Meridian Police Department were called to the 44th Avenue area last night to a developmentally challenged group home. Now, as the Meridian Police Department got there and the medics, they discovered that an elderly female had been deceased for somewhere from a couple of days to possibly even a week. And I think most are leaning towards closer to a week as we look at this. Authorities at the time were unable to determine the cause of the death. The body is being sent for an autopsy to Jackson to determine if foul play is involved with this. More to follow as this story develops on this. A sad situation. We don't know what happened there. You can go to say it took a long time for someone to find them, especially in these circumstances. But too early to say. We don't need anybody pointing fingers until police know more on this matter. But an autopsy has been ordered. It's a horrible situation. Someone has died, and we send condolences to their family as well as we try to figure out more about this. Hopefully we'll have answers soon to determine a few things. As soon as we get that information, we'll pass it along to you. But again, that's 44th Avenue is where that was located. And again, we'll pass along as much information on that as we absolutely can when that comes about. As yesterday came about 10:30, I had started getting somewhere around lunch a lot of text about what was going on at Northeast High School. And we go back to sammedia.network, and this is what went on yesterday. By no means do we want to scare anybody. We certainly didn't at that time, but a gun was found on campus. A student has been charged and arrested with possession of a firearm on campus. You can't do that. At approximately 10:30, Lauderdale County deputies were called to the scene. They arrived there, and it was a group of kids in the parking lot of the school near a car. Upon further investigation, the school resource officer located a firearm inside of the car. Now, again, we want to point out and say that at no point was the gun pulled, displayed, or pulled on anyone at all. It was not. As they get into this, the school will be handling those that weren't in class when they were supposed to be. One person being charged, a juvenile, with this. So no names are going to be released on this because it being a juvenile. Again, no students were injured on this. I think I saw a lot of people saying that they received a text that said a soft closing. That's the first time I've heard that, or a soft lockdown on that. That is the first time I've heard of that worded that way. But now we know that terminology. We will keep you up to date on this should more details come out on this. But this is our preliminary findings on this from yesterday morning. And I know it's scary if you have a child going somewhere and you get word that a gun is on campus. Hopefully it was nothing more than just a gun in a car. As we all remember, when we were teenagers back in the day, you could have a gun rack in a car. Nothing was said. Times have changed. I realize that. Things were way different than they used to be. After we had our first national scene like this that went bad. But that's where we are on that. We'll keep you posted should anything change on that. Our next story as well. Before we begin this, I send condolences to the family. I won't name names at this point due to the fact this is so fresh. But I have spoken to someone in the family this morning, and I pass along sincere condolences on this as we have lost someone else in our community as daybreak, somewhere right around 5:56 a.m. this morning, we got word that there was a fire on Skyland Drive. As we go to the pictures of the fire, our home was fully engulfed as Clarkdale and many other firefighters arrived on the scene of this home. As we get into to this, we find out that an elderly person was in the home, was unable to get out. Just a horrifying fire. You cannot imagine how this breaks someone's heart when that's a family member. We pass along condolences. Again, this is going to be up near the Evangel Temple is where this is. It's a one-lane road back in there. It was packed full of firefighters as they went in and out to try to save the home and the person inside. My understanding, and we have not gotten confirmation 100% from officials as of yet, but I have spoken to family members that say that it was an actual death involved in this. Breaks my heart. We say prayers to you and yours with this and all the community that knew them so well. As they say that it's hard to keep your composure on that. It does bring a tear to your eye to think of this. So my thoughts are y'all is the best I can say that. Hopefully we'll find out what caused that. And again, I pass along my prayers during that. We also look around of things that went on last night in the Meridian. Pretty calm night as we look to things that went on my notes that I've gotten throughout the night. Shots were reported in the 4400 block of 32nd Street. There were no injuries involved with this. And I also got reports of shots near the Carousel Apartments. Again, there also, there were no fire, no one injured, no buildings hurt that I'm aware of at this point. But you do need to know where it was. I want to remind you as we look around at things that's going to be happening coming up Monday, and let me pull up the picture of this. I went down and got a picture of this. There'll be a holiday on Monday as we pull this up. Confederate Memorial Day will happen on Monday. There will be a lot of offices around the state closed. There were some that observed Good Friday instead and took that, but for the most part, most offices will be closed. As they celebrate Confederate Memorial Day. That will be on Monday. So if you were going somewhere and you're trying to get some business taken care of, that is why. As we look at this, also wanted to bring this up. If you see a lot of smoke today near NAS Meridian, and let me pull up here. Here we go. If you see fire, NAS Meridian, as we look at that, are going to have a controlled burn today. Roughly 250 acres of land is going to be burned off today, right around the Lauderdale County, Kemper County line there. So you could see a lot of smoke in that area, and that's what that's going to be. Nothing major, so keep that in the back of your mind there as you're planning and see this. We don't want anybody to think it's a huge fire that's gotten out of control with that. We had several incidents, wrecks. We had a report last night of a accident with injuries there at Mitcham Bottom Road on Highway 45 there by what used to be the outpost, which is Sefco now. We had reports of an accident there last night as well. 495 had an accident as well. No one majorly hurt with that as well. We're just all around the area. We also had this reported yesterday morning. As we went to this of an arrest on Highway 39. MPD was doing their job early as 3 officers had to deal with someone that got out of hand that was unruly. And they had to arrest them and take them off to jail. No officers were hurt, but 3 were involved in that arrest as the person tried to strike officers. Got pretty nasty there for a minute, but MPD handled it very businesslike, took care of business, and took them on downtown. No one was hurt. That is the great news with that as we look at things. Let's see. We also had a report of a fender bender. I think we all know where this is. I'll pull this picture up here. On 24th. This would be right across from the cleaners there. Small fender bender. Things like that happen around the area. And yesterday we had a bunch of those throughout the area. It does happen. Keep that in mind. Chet's Paint and Body. Chet will help you out if someone bumps your car. That does happen from time to time. Hope you're not involved in anything like that. A few things that are coming up that I wanted to mention. The Salvation Army reached out to us to let us know that they've got their 120th anniversary coming. It's going to be open house on the 26th, 3 days from now. 120 years, that's a long. And they've also got their brand new location opened. That's going to be at 1115 25th Avenue. And I remind you of the Salvation Army. I know you see them at Christmas. A lot of times we forget until there's a disaster. You saw them a lot during the last few weeks with all this tornado damage that we had. They were on scene helping provide meals to the people that are displaced from their home, and also all the workers that they're working all the countless hours. They do a lot for the community behind the scenes, so I hope you can support and think about them. Drop by and visit with them, as they will be having their open house there. They're real proud to get that new location. Today and tomorrow, the Shriners, who also do a lot for our area, are having their 3-person scramble today. The Paul D. Thompson Golf Tournament kicks off this morning there at Briarwood. If you're part of that, I hope you have fun. And also, they're going to be having something with Mary Hope coming up in May. And don't forget this. This will be up. The Meridian Police Department is pushing this, along with Total Pain, as we turn that. And I hit the wrong button, didn't I? Here we go. If you've got old drugs in your cabinets that you haven't used before, drop those off so they can be destroyed, so they don't get into the wrong hands and taken for something they shouldn't be. Again, that's going to be Saturday, April the 30th. That will begin at 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. in the Uptown Mall. Yes, I'm still trying to say Uptown. It's still Bonita Lakes to me. It's very hard to change the name of that, although I know they have. It's just a tough one for me to catch all that. As we glance around, let's look at a few other things that are going on statewide this morning. The Mississippi Highway Patrol put this out. The Bureau, Mississippi Bureau of MBI, put this out of someone missing, as we go here to the Mississippi Highway Patrol Facebook page. And this is what we find this morning. An endangered child alert for 7-year-old Serenity Pedro of Ringgold, Mississippi. She's described as a black Hispanic female, 3 foot 10 inches tall, weighing 41 pounds, accompanied by Tanya Williams. Tianya is described as a black female that's 32 years old, 5 foot 4 inches, weighing 152 pounds, driving a gray-brown Chevy Malibu. If you've seen them, call the Sheriff's Department there, as we want a child taken back. We don't know all the circumstances of what's behind the scenes of that, but a child missing, and this is the lady they say that has her. So we hope that that child will be found safely before long. If you're going to be traveling west of Meridian today, going to Jackson, keep in mind that there's work on Interstate 55 as we look at the Mississippi Department of Transportation. They're going to be closing down the right lanes of I-55 to Interstate 20 there in Jackson. So it'll be a little bit of a traffic delay there as it all bottlenecks up in there. So keep that in mind if you're headed to Jackson this morning. We certainly want you to be safe in those areas. I saw this. This is different. And by no means, before I tell this story, I want you to think this is a morbid story or anything like that. This is, in some ways, a blessing. I think that people will want to have this done. At some point in time, we will all pass away. And in most cases, unless you're cremated, you will need a coffin. A Mississippi company has started something new to where they personalize caskets. It's being done a lot with children that have passed away, of making the casket out of, wrapping the casket to make it in something that the child wanted. Maybe you had a firefighter in your family or a policeman that you would like to have something special done. And it's a neat, as we look at some of these pictures, it started out as the guy owned a company that done this for cars and put logos on cars. And he had a family member passed away, and this was what he made for her funeral. That's how it all started out. And then he says that he was asked by somebody else who lost a child to do another coffin, and each one was done a little bit different as to what it was. This was one of the ones that were done here for a child also. Let me pull this up where you can see that. That's a different view of Mickey Mouse on it. And there's some more examples of this here. I think that I've got some pictures of what he's done. Here's one, a different glance at that. Very neat. It's a very personal thing there. But it's an idea, and especially even with adults, and like I said, they've done a specific job, and they want to have that memorialized for that special person. A very neat business, and brings a smile to those who have lost someone. As I said, I don't want you to think in any way I was trying to discredit anything, but a neat business there that would help somebody during their time of grief. I do believe there. So pass that along. In the name of the business, let me grab this here. I got it up here somewhere. In Memory Casket Wraps is what that's called. Just something to think on there. As we come across some other stories that have gone on, 4 inmates have escaped from the Desoto Detention Center. Police are looking for them. Hopefully they'll be in custody before long. You never know what will happen with things like this. Not supposedly to be in our area, but you can never tell. Be on the lookout for that, just so you'll know. The governor, Tate Reeves, has signed a bill. And as we dig deeper into this, a pretty big deal for the state. It's the COVID-19 bill is what it's being called. It prohibits, it's a law preventing the public agencies from punishing people based on their COVID-19 vaccination status. Now, in the beginning of all this, the rush in America was, well, if you don't take this shot, you can't have this. You can't get this. The state of Mississippi is taking it a step further. And as all along, as I said, it's your right to decide if you want to take the shot or not. You're an American. You have a right on that. The law prohibits state agencies, colleges, schools, and even towns from taking away compensations or other benefits to those who do not take it or take it. Either way, they cannot affect you. Seems like I remember something going on in Jackson, Mississippi. Anybody remember that? It's called House Bill 1509. We'll watch that very closely. I have to go back and look at things that happened around the state. Very important bill, I think, that was signed there. Brookhaven, which is south of the Meridian area, go down south, just west of Hattiesburg and those areas there, down south of us, a lot of ATM thefts at daybreak. Police are trying to crack that and find out who's doing it. You would think there would be a lot of cameras involved. But if you've seen something in that area, check that out. Make sure to report it to police. As we go north of here, West Point, they've had a lot of vandalism, and they admit in the town of West Point they don't have cameras. What's happening? There are monuments, whether it was from Desert Storm, the Confederate monuments, and those given to World War II have been spray painted on. It's happened twice. They're trying to crack the case there in West Point. For those who gave all. It's a memorial to those, and it should be respected who came before us and gave their lives. Hate it when people do that. They think teenagers done it. They can't prove it because they don't have anything on camera. As we go to the Gulf Coast this morning, they have confirmed that the body of Dorothy Burks was found. And again, as we talked about that yesterday morning, the Cajun Navy played a huge part of solving this, of finding this elderly lady's body. She was 75 years old, went missing, and she was found due to the efforts of the Cajun Navy, as they have people, a network throughout the areas that were retired, that work for police, that volunteer their time to help out when something happens in a community. They step up, they contact them, and they work within this agency. That is neat. I'm glad they do that. People helping one another all across America. I'm real proud of that. As we go to our next story, I've seen this several times in the state of Mississippi being mentioned. As we go back to this, a Mississippi school district places restrictions on more than 20 books after parents have raised concerns of the books. As we look at this, Mississippi Public School District announced that it has placed restriction on more than 20 because of the mature content in these books that parents were concerned about. This was in Madison County and will require students to get parental consent to check these books out. That's the best way, and I hesitated to make sure that I said that right there. And as you can imagine, these books touch on subjects that are a little bit, is the word risque for young adults. I'll put it that way. You can read more about this. It's easy to Google, and we'll try to get something up about this. But you would have to check out. They're not saying the books aren't allowed. They're saying you have to have parental consent to be signed off on to read these books. They go against the norm, I guess is the nicest way to put that. I'll leave that alone. I've got your forecast coming up next. We'll take a close look at that and let you know exactly what is expected today. It's going to be a nice day. You'll be out and about with all the different things going on. I want to remind you of this, and we'll tell you more about it. The Spring Extravaganza show is kicking off this morning there. Becky and all the gang will be up there today taking care of things. Doors open in about 3 minutes. Drop in and visit them, the old Office Max location there. A little bit of everything today. as Becky brings this about. Hope you'll drop in and visit with everybody and see maybe there's something that you'd like to have there. All that's going on. More coming up from the Scotty Ray Report. We'll get deep into your weather. That's next.
Since 1985, Miss Rodney's Muffler Shop has been taking care of you. As a matter of fact, they're ranked as the #1 muffler dealer in the South Central Mississippi area. Still located on 8th Street, where you can conveniently drop in. Well, they offer you all the Flowmaster and dual pipes that you'll need, any custom bending for your vehicle. They offer mufflers, muffler deletes, and even factory stock mufflers. They can even install a converter for you. 482-8211. 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and they're open until noon on Saturday. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville has these great savings this week. Red, yellow, or orange bell peppers, 2 for $3. Heinz 57 steak sauce, $3.39. A1 steak sauce, $3.89. Bush baked beans, 28-ounce can, 2 for $5. Whole boneless pork loin, $1.89 a pound. And leg quarters, a 10-pound package, only $5.99.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
Mark your calendars for the Spring Extravaganza show coming Saturday, April 23rd, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a brand new location at the old Office Max building at Bonita Lake Circle. From boutique clothes, shoes and accessories, children's clothing, spring plants, jewelry, gift items. Come shop and have lunch with Jack's Sausage Dogs. The Spring Extravaganza Gift Show, Saturday, April the 23rd from 9 until 4 at the old Office Max building in Meridian. Call Becky at 601-480-1776. As I said, they'll be there this morning. Sandy Johnson says congrats to the Quitman Panthers on their win last night. Hope it was a big win. I haven't seen the scores as of this morning, so congratulations to them for that win. And a good morning to everybody waking up. Let's try to face today with a smile the best we can. And again, condolences and prayers to our families who have lost loved ones in our community. We have to remember those. I hope you'll make it to church tomorrow morning. As I've said many times, there's a whole bunch of us, and there's probably a church within 5 miles of where you live, in most cases, and there's so few that actually show up. We need to change that and get America back rolling where it needs to be. Makes people think. Check it out. Let's get into the weather this morning and find out exactly where we're headed.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Sunshine. That's what we're going to get. 85 today as we look at the forecast for Meridian. And as you go up Highway 19, it will remain the same as you go through House, through Tucker, and as you make it into Philadelphia. Beautiful weather, 85. And even on northward, as you go up 15, you get into Winston County, and you pass through Noxapater and make it all the way to Mississippi State through Louisville. It's going to be great. 85 there as well. We just got an 85 kind of day, even down south of us, Hattiesburg. 84 at Vicksburg. Natchez will be 83 today. As we cut across that Bama state line, 85 expected in Livingston all the way through Geiger and those areas. Beautiful weather. Montgomery will see 85. A little bit cooler over in Troy, Alabama, to the southeast of us. As we break down the forecast here, what is coming? Warmer weather. You see it on the forecast there. This is what is projected over the next 6 to 10 days. Warm weather. It's going to be into the 80s. It will start to feel like summer before long, as we all know. Here's our extended forecast. Let's take a snapshot and just kind of go through what's expected over the next 7 days. As we see today, gust. Don't forget, it'll be a little windy outside. It'll dry things out from all that rain we got. Sunshine, 85 tonight. A few clouds, still gust of about 20 miles an hour. The low right around 58 tonight. Not bad at all. As we go to church tomorrow, 85. That high of 85 down to 60 tomorrow night. Not bad. And we'll start losing those gusts as the nighttime comes. As we look to Monday, don't forget that umbrella Monday and Tuesday, as we have a 30% chance of showers on Monday, but still warm, 86. A temperature drop after this rain comes through. Still 40% chance of rain hovering on Tuesday. High 71 only, and a 40-degree day there at night. 2 nights of it. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and by then as we get toward the weekend, those temperatures start warming back up toward the 80s again. Let's go ahead and take another week into the the forecast and go all the way to May the 7th. Can you believe May is even being said 5 months into the year? We look on Saturday the 30th as we start to roll out of April, that last day, 87. That's a warm one. Into May we go with a high of 85. Even through the 7th, we're still looking at about high of 82. Sort of the perfect weather. You can't complain about that. If we could stay anywhere from 88 below all winter, all summer, boy, it would be good, wouldn't it? I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see those days where we're sweating and just can't hardly take it, won't we? As we look to the fishing forecast today, looks to be pretty good there. Chet's Paint and Body brings us that. All the way through 9:30 is a major time this morning. This afternoon won't be so bad either. You'll get a second time right after lunch, 1 to 2 o'clock if you've got to wet a hook. What's the wind going to do? South-southeast, wind 5 to 10 miles an hour. It will increase to 10 to 15. Again, watch those gusts as you're casting. 20-mile-an-hour gust is what is expected on the waters today. That's a quick look at what we've got going on in and around our neighborhoods this morning. We'll be here throughout the day to let you know what happens nationwide, locally. If it's breaking, we'll be here to give you the story behind it of what's happening there. I urge you to be careful. Don't forget, NAS Meridian, they're going to have that controlled burn today. If you see fire, smoke in the air near NAS Meridian there at the Kemper-Lauderdale County line. Firefighters are doing that from NAS Meridian, taking care of things. I appreciate y'all so much. Sort of a tongue twister there. I appreciate you. Let me slow down to say it correct. We'll be back soon. And a big thank you to everyone and all the sponsors that make this happen. I can't do it without you watching, and I can't do it without them helping us financially get this thing rolling. We appreciate it, and we'll be back as we monitor it for you here at the Scotty Ray Report. Thank y'all so much.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: